Uh, what was going through my mind? I mean, there was just a lot of game left. Just telling myself be smart when I get back in the game. Don't pick up a cheap foul early in the second quarter. Um, yeah, I mean that's all. That's really all I was thinking about, and trying to figure out a way to win.
And over the last two games, you're shooting better than 50%. Things are starting to turn around. I mean, you've talked about how early it was. Is this kind of how you thought things would go for you?
How I thought. Um, nah, I didn't think I'd be shooting this bad beginning of the season, but I was never worried. I put too much work in to ever worry or doubt. It was just a matter of time. Hopefully, I can keep it up.
And what was it like out there playing? Like, you know that Bill Russell is sitting there. You know Paul Pierce is sitting there. You got, like you mentioned, Celtics Lakers. You know that this is kind of a bigger deal. Just what's it like out there in that moment?
It's a surreal moment. Obviously, Bill Russell. I know the impact that he had on the Celtics and the NBA. I didn't get to see him play, but having somebody like Paul come to the game and somebody I have a relationship with, and I mean, I remember watching him play, and now he watching me play. Uh, that's crazy to me.
You tweeted out the other day that you stole game from the truth, even though Ticket was your favorite Celtic. But how much of how much of your offense that you patterned after him, how much you guys talked about that?
Yeah. I mean, Kobe was my favorite player, but I watched a lot of guys play, and somebody like Paul that could get his shot off, against anybody, and he was never rushed. Amazing footwork, always got to his spot, great touch. Somebody I always watched and just stole moves from, and watch how they played the game, and especially on the offensive end. He could do everything, and wasn't the most athletic guy, but always figured it out.
When Dennis and Marcus are driving like that, what does it do for you?
I mean, it opens the game up. Those guys are so crafty and shifty, um, getting downhill, finishing at the rim, and finding you know guys on kickouts. Excuse me. It opens things up. Because it's hard to stay in front of those guys. How quick they are.
What did you like best about your team's response after that first quarter?
On that, we just regrouped. Giving up 38 points in the first quarter. Something that we never want to do, but it's basketball and things happen. So listen, can't control everything, but how you respond, kind of just shows your character and things like that. So it's just how we responded.
I was curious. I saw your tweet also about that, the old Celtics. Why was Kevin Garnett your favorite player from that team?
Um, I mean, he was my dad's favorite player was Michael Jordan, and then his second favorite player was KG, and he always had me watching. When he played with Minnesota and then with the Celtics, um, and just the aggressiveness that he played with, his intensity, the passion, and I can relate. Obviously, I'm not nearly as emotional or outgoing as he is, but I understand, how he feels and how he played the game. But I admire and just appreciate, him being who he was, and he even to this day when I get a chance to be around him and talk to him, he's the same person, that you see on TV. Um, and I've always appreciated that and just how hard he played and how everybody, his teammates and the city of Boston just rally around him and loved him as a player and a person.
You mentioned you weren't expecting to shoot this poorly from the field so far, but you guys are 20% of the way through the season as a team now. Is this kind of been the stretch been more difficult for your group than you anticipated, kind of getting used to playing for Ime and everything that's gone on, or is it sort of gone the way you anticipated it would overall?
I mean, you expect to win every game you play, but that's never the case. Um, and I think it's just part of it. New coach, new system. We all trying to figure it out, and I think as tough and frustrating that as it can be sometimes, that, you know, I think it can help you in the long run going through these, you know, bumps and things like that. You know, just brings you get more together and closer. And hopefully we can continue to play like we played tonight and how we've been playing recently. And just continue to play like that.
Jayson, I know as a young guy, you took pictures with LeBron and KD, and you looked up to these guys, and I'm sure a few years ago as a rookie or second year, you played against them, and the wow factor is there. But it seems like now, especially tonight, you kind of said, I'm the best MF on this floor. You know, like that's that mentality you have. Is that gradual? Is that something now when you look at guys and you grew up watching them, but now you know that you're a proven player and it's up to you to prove that you're the best MF on the floor?
Yeah, I think I think honestly, my third season when I made my first All-Star game, and I was in the locker room with, you know, LeBron, AD, Harden, Kawhi, and I think that was the first time in my career, you know, I felt like, you know, I belonged in this room. Obviously, those guys have accomplished, you know, so much more and played longer and things like that. But, you know, I was in the locker room with them. I was on that team, and you know, I think ever since then, I've kind of took that approach of, you know, I belonged in that locker room, and, you know, from now on, whether anybody else believe it, I always tell myself when I get on the floor, you know, I'm the best player. And I think I just remember vividly from that game, you know, I've kept that, you know, that mentality with me.
I know players of your generation get accused of being buddies and jersey swapping and stuff, but there's it seems like a cutthroat level you have to be one of the all-time greats. Like you said, Jordan and Garnett, dudes. I mean, they want to slash your throat. I mean, they'll talk to you after the game, but on the floor, I mean, do you have to have that mentality?
Yeah, and I think that's just, you know, you going out there and being competitive and trying to win at all costs, knowing that, I mean, you respect the guys on the other team. You know, you see them outside of basketball and things like that, but yeah, I may not be the most emotional person, but when I step on the floor, I don't care if it's Brad Bill. Like I'm trying to go at him, and that's somebody I grew up with. So I think that's just a mentality that you have when you step on the floor. Is, you know, it's my team against yours, and, you know, after the game it's whatever. But, you know, these 48 minutes, you know, I ain't got nothing for you.
Thanks, Jayson. Thank you very much. We'll wrap it up right there. Thank you.